Were you getting your hopes up about Elon Musk buying Twitter, within a few days controlling it and bringing back Donald Trump? Well, then, boy, do I have news for you. Elon Musk still wants to back out of $44 billion Twitter deal using bank loophole as his deposition today gets delayed while lawyers thrash out terms. Okay. Maybe it will still happen. And we do have a bunch of news around what's happening with Twitter. In this story from the Daily Mail, Elon Musk apparently did try to reduce the price, and they said no. It's one of the questions I had. Elon Musk abruptly comes out and says, okay, I'm going to buy Twitter at the full price, that we're going to end litigation. And this was speculated to be because he was embarrassed. With the deposition coming up, it was going to get even more embarrassing. And depositions are what? They're fairly pointless. I mean, you can get asked questions, just be like, can't recall, don't know, I don't know, can't remember. And so what can you really do? But it can still be embarrassing, especially if some of this footage gets released or some of the statements get released. So maybe that's why Elon wanted to back down. Don't know for sure. But we do know that Elon was trying to get the price reduced. Now we're learning that many of the banks that were supposed to be backing Elon Musk are trying to back out as well. So let me walk you through the cluster of what a lawsuit this is. Twitter is suing Elon, potentially threatening interest, damages. Elon says, fine, I'll buy. But maybe Elon's trying to back down because he knows the banks won't really finance it anyway, so it's not going to happen. Then Twitter is going to demand that Elon find the money somewhere, maybe liquidating Tesla stock or something like that. And then the court may force Elon to sue the banks. And oh boy. Well, here we go. From the Daily Mail, Elon Musk's deposition was delayed on Thursday as he and Twitter executives continue to negotiate the terms of his $44 billion takeover. Both sides agreed to delay Musk's deposition scheduled for Thursday in Texas as they continue to iron out a deal that would halt a non-jury trial in Delaware on October 17th, according to the Wall Street Journal. Among the many issues they are said to be discussing is whether the Tesla CEO will try to make the deal contingent on his original $12.5 billion debt financing package as banks try to weasel their way out of the agreement. So we're all excited because Elon Musk taking over the platform could mean a return of all the accounts that were banned for hate speech or political reasons. Of course, however, Elon can say whatever he wants. If he can't get the debt financing, he ain't buying anything. The banks could argue that Musk's antics in delaying the agreement have sufficiently damaged Twitter, enough to qualify as a material adverse effect, letting them walk away, the New York Times reports. And Musk could even foil his own deal by refusing to sign a letter certifying Twitter is solvent. This is all just one big, stupid mess. What's the point? Though the judge in the case is likely to force the billionaire to sue the banks for the agreed upon money under the New York law that governs them. How do you force someone to sue a bank? They could just lose. Our lawyer wasn't good enough. Sorry. Twitter executives, on the other hand, are trying to make sure Musk won't back out of his agreement again, seeking reaffirmation on the specifics in the previously agreed to contract. They're also considering options like court supervision of the closing process and requesting that Musk pay interest to make up for the delays. Without an agreement, neither side has requested a delay in the trial, and it is still scheduled for later this month, about 11 days. The parties have not filed a stipulation to stay this action, nor has any party moved for a stay. I therefore continue to press on toward our trial set to begin on October 17th, 2022, wrote Chancellor Kathleen McCormick, the judge on Delaware's court chancery, in a court filing on Wednesday. They post a bunch of pictures. Musk surprised investors on Monday when he suddenly announced he would abide by his April agreement to buy the company at $54.20 a share if Twitter dropped its litigation against him. Hey, here's one big reason. It's expensive, and Twitter is going to request that he pay the legal fees. So perhaps this is him saying, fine, I'll buy it. No legal fees. You drop it, you absorb that, I buy it. But the proposal included a condition the deal closing was contingent on the necessary debt financing, and there it is. It is likely that an agreement between the two parties would remove that condition. A Reuters source familiar with the negotiations previously said, after Apollo Global Management and Sixth Street backed out of the agreement to help fund the buyout. The two firms were not among the 18 equity investors named in a May SEC filing listing Musk's backers, but had previously been part of talks looking at providing about $1 billion in financing for the deal. Something fishy is going on. I'm just going to say it. Everybody sit back, put on your conspiracy theory hats, tinfoil, of course. Something doesn't make sense. On the surface, Elon Musk buying Twitter is a major investment opportunity, so much so that the stock has jumped up to about $51 on news that Elon would be buying it. We know that Elon coming in, taking it private, because right now it's public, restoring accounts like Alex Jones and Donald Trump are going to reinvigorate the platform. And then when he takes it public again, everybody's going to make money. So why are people backing down? I think something happened behind the scenes that we aren't allowed to know about that made Elon Musk say, what? How about this? A national security letter. Some kind of national security restrictions. Elon Musk, here's what it looks like. You get a presidential candidate, and they get up on stage and they're like, ladies and gentlemen, if you vote for me, I'm going to get these troops out of the Middle East. We're going to bring our men and women home. End these forever wars. And then you're like, that sounds really good. I'll vote for you. And then the first thing they do once they get in office, they go, okay, instead of bringing our troops back, I'm going to blow up kids. Too many of them. And then you're just like, how does that happen? Speaking from experience, of course, that was Barack Obama. How does it happen? This guy says, we got to get our troops back. We got to bring them back. It's a mistake. Then he goes, no, I'm going to blow up kids. Blow up kids instead. It's like, dude, how did you do this 180? Information. That's it. When you're not the president, you don't have access to certain things. You don't know. You sit down in the Oval Office and you say, okay, now I'm president. I'm going to get our troops out. And then they hand you a document and it says, here's why you're not. And then you go, huh. Now, in the case of people like Barack Obama and Donald Trump, you can clearly see what happens when you say no. Donald Trump said, no, thank you. They came to him. This is my assumption, by the way. I don't know for sure. My assumption is that with Barack Obama, he's like, vote for me. They give him the documents, and then he goes, okay. And it probably had something to do with, we'll come for your family, or you can do this the easy way. Now, I think with someone like Obama and Clinton or whatever and Bush, they know what they're doing. They're in on the game. So when they come to them and say, here's the plan now, Mr. President, they go, all right, whatever you say. The CIA, the DOJ, the FBI, DHS, whatever, they come to you and they say, here's what's happening. And I think for someone like Obama, he just went, all right, you got it. Let's do it. Donald Trump, on the other hand, was like, no, excuse me. No, I don't know what that's about. The war is a mistake. I told the American people that we're not doing it. Sorry, this country needs some better leadership. They come to Donald Trump. They give him the documents and he says, what is this? And they're like, Mr. President, this is why you're not pulling our troops out of Afghanistan. This is why you will be bolstering our forces in Syria. And he went, no, I don't see how this helps America. We're not doing it. And then they said, we will destroy you. Perhaps that happened even before the man became president. Now let's take it back to Twitter. Why are these banks and everybody seemingly wanting to back out at a time when retail investors are buying in? What do they know that we don't? That, I don't know, the CIA, the DOJ, the FBI, all these alphabet agencies have national security letters. You know how that works? You got a company. You get a letter certified. It says you will comply for national security reasons or else. There was an email company, email provider. There was an encrypted email. Got a national security letter. And it said, you will tell no one about this letter and you will do as you're told or else. So the founder said, nope, shut the company down and then published the letter. And bravo. And they said, you're harming national security. And he's like, I'm shutting it down. I am not going to. Basically, they wanted backdoor access. How much? Come on. You think the government doesn't have access to your private messages? They know. I'd be willing to bet not only do they know what's in your private DMs, I'm willing to bet they can see you typing your tweet in real time and then not even saving it. So you're typing a tweet where you're like, I just plain don't like pineapple on pizza. They can see that. And you're like, you know what? I'm not going to say that. You erase it. I bet they can see it. How much you want to bet? One of the biggest issues here is that Twitter, as much as we've got issues with them, has their hands tied because of national security interests. Elon Musk didn't realize it, says, I'll buy it, whatever. And they're like, okay. Then he looks at the documents and he goes, wait, what is that? And they're like, you can't talk about that. That one's off limits. And then Elon's like, I better find a way out of this. Maybe. I don't know for sure. Elon says he wants to make his everything app, so we'll see. They go on to say, Musk has since said he would finance the deal with his own cash, co-investors, and bank financing as historic inflation, rising interest. I don't care about that. When investor banks fund a leveraged buyout, they usually try to offload the debt to outside investors like hedge funds. The banks then make money from the fees they charge to arrange these deals, and they sell the debt to reduce their risks in case borrowers cannot repay. But under the current economic situation, it is much more difficult for the banks to offload that debt, and doing so could lose them significant sums of money. It remains unclear what impact, if any, the withdrawal of Apollo and 6th Street might have on the structure of the deal. The $12.5 billion in debt financing from the banks is ironclad, according to the analyst Ives, who wrote that the banks are essentially cemented to this Twitter debt deal, and we see no way out despite the very tough debt markets today. We continue to believe the deal gets done smoothly, despite some late-night poker moves from the Twitter camp and the Delaware court case around the corner, he wrote in a note on Wednesday night. I think national security may be a big issue as to why this is happening, because Musk, as a electric car manufacturer, doesn't deal with it in the same way. But I got to be honest, I don't know. I have to imagine. Let me tell you guys, there are some of the Teslas. I don't know if all of them, maybe all of them. They have cameras pointed at you. As you are driving, there is a camera pointed at you in the car, and you want to be like, "What's that for?" Now, here's the thing. It's called the cabin cam. So I got a Tesla, and it's got cameras all over it. It's really cool, actually. You can be parked. You can pull up your app, and you can look at the cameras wherever your car is. I actually think that's pretty awesome. The only thing is, you think the government has access to those cameras? Yeah, they probably do. After everything we learned from Edward Snowden, now you got the cabin cam. I think it might be like the Model S. I'm not sure if I have a Model 3, but I don't know if the camera's in there. It might. I don't know if I've ever looked for it. And the cabin cam, it's filming you. They say the reason for this is so that they can make sure you're keeping your eyes on the road. Really? That's what you're... Come on. Now, I think it'd be cool if the cabin cam worked to film you inside, because there's a dash cam too. And so I guess if like you get into an accident, it's great to have a dash cam, a cabin cam, and side cameras so you know whose fault it is. Because I drive like a saint. I don't speed. And I don't hard brake, no hard turns. My safety score for my Tesla is so high that they reduced my insurance premium. That's amazing, isn't it? I'm half kidding, by the way. It's like, I don't know, I drive normal, whatever. But I have to admit, I would believe that when you get a Tesla, they know everything about what you're doing, where you're going, and there is nothing you can do about it. In fact, I bet all modern cars have that to a certain degree. I mean, they have GPS in them, right? There you go. I think I have like a Honda, and it's got all the modern displays, and it's got a map in it, a GPS. Of course they know where you are and where you're going. They track all that stuff. I'd be willing to bet. So if that's the case, I don't know to what extent a national security letter would impact Elon or whatever. Maybe it's as simple as Elon's an eccentric weirdo, and that's why this is all happening. They're going to say, meanwhile, actually, here's a quote. We continue to believe the deal gets done smoothly despite some late night poker moves from the Twitter camp with the Delaware court case around the corner, he wrote in a note on Wednesday night. Meanwhile, Musk had sought to devalue the price of Twitter before he renewed his original offer on Monday. The New York Times reports that Musk had been privately pleading with Twitter to reduce the deal price by as much as 30%, valuing the company at $31 billion. But Twitter executives refused the proposal, as well as another to cut the price tag by 10% before Musk acquiesced. As of Thursday, shares of the social media giant were valued at 51.11, up nearly 20% over the past 5 days. Look at that major spike. Wow. In the court, I wonder if this is interesting. Would Elon be able to just buy up a bunch of the stock on the public market? Would that be considered insider trading? I don't know. That's interesting. If someone else started just loading up, they'd probably assume insider trading. But if Elon knew he was going to buy the company, so he just bought a ton of the publicly available shares, is that insider trading? I don't know. In court on Wednesday, Judge McCormick said that neither Twitter nor Musk have asked the court to put the case on hold. She said in her ruling that Musk's side has failed to provide Twitter with copies of all their messages he exchanged about the buyout deal and likely let some Slack messages be automatically deleted. If defendants deleted documents after they were under a duty to preserve, some remedy is appropriate, but the appropriate remedy is unclear to me at this stage. She added that she will reserve judgment on the matter until after the trial. Maybe that's why Elon ultimately decided to just buy the platform. Hey, I'm happy about it. Let's see it, Elon. Put your money where your mouth is. Twitter's legal team and lawyers for Musk updated the judge on Tuesday with their attempts to try to overcome mutual distrust and find a process for closing the deal. An attorney representing a proposed class action against Musk on behalf of Twitter shareholders wrote to McCormick to say Musk should be required to make a substantial deposit in case he again reneges on his commitment to close. Musk should also be liable for interest for delays in closing the deal, said the letter from attorney Michael Hanrahan. Musk said July he was walking away from the takeover agreement because he discovered Twitter had allegedly misled him about the number of fake accounts, among other claims. I think he's right. I think he's completely right, but I don't think he's going to win at this point. You know, I thought he was initially, but based on how everything's going, just don't see that as the case. Part of Musk's case was based on allegations by Twitter whistleblower Peter Mudge Zetko that became public in August. Twitter's legal team had wanted to investigate if Quinn Emanuel's lawyer, Alex Spiro, who has led the case for Musk, communicated with the whistleblower as early as May. That's crazy. That could actually explain everything. Here's a scenario. Why did Musk try to back down? Because Mudge contacted him. He's an old school hacker guy. He hits up Elon Musk and says, dude, they're not telling you everything. Take a look at this. And then Elon goes, dude, what? And so he says, I'm not buying. But now they got him. They tried amending their complaint to include the public claims from Mudge, but I don't know. They say Twitter lawyers were suspicious that Zetko sent an anonymous May 6 email to Spiro. The sender claimed to be a former Twitter employee, offered information about the company, and suggested communicating by alternate means. Spiro said in a filing with the court on Wednesday, he never read the email until Twitter brought it to his attention and said it appeared to be someone seeking a job. Spiro also said he was unaware of the existence of Zetko's allegations before they became public on August 23rd. Who knows, man? I'll just tell you this. I'm rooting for Twitter. You get him, Twitter. Haha, Elon, you're going to lose. Why? Because I want Elon to own Twitter. I want to see Elon put his money where his mouth is. He likes to talk about free speech. He says he's a fan of the Babylon Bee. He says a lot of things. All right. Get the platform. Now, I understand he may not be happy about the price. That I get. And maybe the price isn't fair. Sure. But he entered into this agreement all on his own. There may be problems. Okay, Elon, expose them. Get control of the company and start showing it all off. Isn't it amazing how right when the news breaks that Elon's going to be acquiring the platform, a bunch of people lose followers? It's almost like they started purging bots the moment they realized, hey, this is actually going to happen. Quick, delete the bots. Amazing. Why? Is it, are you shredding documents and destroying evidence right before Elon Musk takes over? Elon should ask the judge about these changes. Why is it, Your Honor, that 2 times we have seen major user fluctuations around this time? Something doesn't make sense. Listen, people started getting their accounts back. There's testimony. You can get people to swear under oath. All of a sudden, they announce this and Twitter unblocks people. What's happening? Maybe it's not nefarious, but they were withholding something. Now they're deleting accounts? You mean to tell me, I think I lost like 7,000 followers when they announced this. 7,000 people just all randomly were like, Elon's buying Twitter. Quick, better unfollow Tim. No, lies. And the same thing goes for other left-wing personalities too, who also lost followers. Something doesn't make sense. But Elon presumably isn't going to be asking anybody about this, though he should, which makes me wonder why. And that's why I think maybe there's something related to national security. Could it be that the U.S. Cyber Command, the U.S. government, military force or whatever force is, are utilizing social media in nefarious ways, perhaps to encourage people to support war with Ukraine? I wonder. Elon Musk pointed this out when he said we need peace. And then he gets flooded by votes saying, nah, no peace. Weird. Elon called it a bot attack. Could it be that these bots are run by the government? I will bring you back in time. There were some revelations made about the U.S., I believe it was the Air Force. They were buying sock puppets. It's an old story. It's from like 10 years ago. Sock puppet accounts are, have you seen that image? It's like a woman sitting at, she's sitting at like, there's this big panel with like 200 phones. And she's sitting there posting and typing and stuff. That's bot farms. She's running what's called a sock puppet account. It's a fake person. Looks unique, but it's actually one person will run 50 accounts. Those accounts all pretend to be different people. They're sock puppet accounts. Perhaps Elon Musk is aware of this, but he can't do anything about it. National security letters. I think it's fair to say. I'm also willing to bet that the U.S. government has utilized Twitter in a whole bunch of military operations around the planet. I wonder to what extent it plays a role in Iran. Now, I know it's blocked there. I wonder why adversaries of the U.S. block platforms like Twitter. We don't block platforms like TikTok, owned by China, stealing our data. So I have to wonder. I think there's things happening behind the scenes that we aren't allowed to know about. And it could be that due to national security reasons, they're telling Musk, like, you will buy this. You will not upend this, and you will not reveal it. And then the question is, can he even unban anyone? That's the question. Because if there are these national security letters, perhaps it is then revealed that the government mandated Trump be removed. Oh, I know he was the president, you say, but elements within the intelligence agencies go to Twitter and say, you will ban Donald Trump. And Twitter says, you got it, boss. Elon steps in and looks at it and goes, so I couldn't unban him if I wanted to without going to war with the intelligence agencies? Yep. And he goes, I ain't buying it. I'm not going to buy this. And they go, too bad. You bought in. The cursed belt is now yours and you will wear it. We'll see, my friends. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.